All right, so I want to talk about something that's been on my mind a lot lately. It's this nagging feeling that our entire approach to productivity, it's just, well, broken.
I know, it sounds totally backward, right? But seriously, what if that constant gnawing pressure to just do more, what if that's the very thing that's stopping you from doing your best work?
And this all points to a huge kind of hidden belief. It's a lie, really, that a lot of us have bought into without even thinking about it. Yeah, this is the big one. We wear busy like a badge of honor, don't we? We're proud of how fast we answer emails, how many projects we can juggle. But here's the thing. That's not productivity. It's a trap. All it's really doing is creating this constant, low-level drain on your brain power that just slowly, quietly kills the quality of your actual work.
So this whole culture of busyness, it has a real hidden cost. And there is actually a name for this thing, this enemy of real progress that, let's be honest, we all deal with every single day.
Okay, you know that feeling? You've been working all day, bouncing between emails, Slack messages, that one report, and then you look at the clock, it's 5 p.m., and you feel like you've accomplished literally nothing. That is the cost of context switching. Your brain is spending all its energy just loading and reloading information, never actually getting a chance to, go deep.
Now, look at this number, 1.49. At first glance, you might think, that's not so bad, right? This is from a study on software developers. It's how many projects they jump between in a single day. But here's the crazy part. Even that tiny amount of switching creates this huge cognitive drag. It hurts their productivity, it hurts the quality of their code. It's just this silent killer of our most precious resource, which is our attention.
Okay, so if constantly switching tasks is the big problem, then what's the solution? Well, it turns out there's this state of mind, this state of complete and total absorption that the best of the best, we're talking elite athletes, incredible artists, have been talking about for decades.
This quote right here is from the legendary Formula One driver Ayrton Senna. He's talking about one of the greatest laps ever driven, driving by a kind of instinct in a different dimension. That feeling, that total immersion, what we call being in the zone, well, it has a scientific name. It's called the flow state. And it's this almost magical place where you're so locked into what you're doing that everything else just melts away. The key thing here is that you're not forcing yourself to focus. You're just so absorbed, so into it, that you literally forget that distractions even exist. And you can tell when you're in it. A few things are dead giveaways. That little voice in your head, your inner critic, it just goes silent. You look up and hours have passed, but it feels like minutes. And you're not even thinking about the end result anymore. The work itself, the process, that becomes the reward.
Now, here's the best part, and this is really important. This isn't some mystical state reserved for geniuses or pro athletes. Nope, it's something any of us can get to, if we know how to create the right conditions.
And that's the absolute key. Flow is not an accident. It's not some lightning bolt of inspiration that you just have to wait for. You can actually engineer it. You can build it. It comes down to deliberately setting up your work with super clear goals, getting immediate feedback on how you're doing, and finding that perfect sweet spot where the task is challenging enough to keep you engaged, but not so hard that it just makes you anxious. You're basically living right on the edge of your abilities.
Okay, so this is where we get really practical. How do we take this amazing idea of flow and make it a regular part of our lives? Well, this is where the practice of deep work comes in, and it starts with a simple principle. If you want more of something, you have to start measuring it. Because, let's be real, we think we know how focused we are, but our gut feeling, it's usually wrong. So if we really want more flow, we've got to stop measuring the wrong things. We need to stop tracking vanity metrics, like emails sent or to-do list items crossed off, and start measuring the stuff that actually leads to deep, meaningful work.
So instead of just, punching a clock, a framework like this gives you the real picture. It's not just about the quantity of time you put in, it's about the quality of that time. How deep did you actually go? What did you create? And this is the big one. Is your actual capacity for focus getting better over time?
And something as simple as this, just a basic bar chart, could be a total game changer. It's a reality check. You might have felt productive on Tuesday, but the numbers don't lie. You only got half an hour of deep work in. It forces you to ask better questions, like, what was different about Wednesday? What happened that let me get a solid 3 hours in? This is how you stop hoping for focus and start building it.
So what does all this boil down to? What's the takeaway? It's really about changing your inner monologue. It's about changing the default questions that run through your head all day long.
So, instead of waking up and thinking, how can I get more done today, you start asking, how can I create the conditions for deep focus? See the difference? It's a total reframe. You stop being a task processing machine and start being a craftsman who actually creates value.
And instead of that constant anxiety of, am I being responsive enough? Did I reply to that email? The question becomes, am I protecting my focus from context switching? It shifts your whole priority from just looking busy and available to actually being effective, because you realize your attention, that's your most valuable asset, period. And at the end of the day, instead of asking, did I get to inbox 0, you ask yourself, did I hit a state of flow today? Think about that. That completely changes what a good day even means. The goalpost moves from just clearing away a bunch of shallow tasks to actually experiencing that optimal state where you know you did your best, most fulfilling work.
Look, at the end of the day, this isn't about some rigid, complicated new productivity system. It's much simpler. It's a fundamental shift in your mindset. It's about moving from a world that celebrates being busy to one that actually cultivates depth. So the real question is, if you actually started measuring what truly mattered, just for 1 week, what do you think you'd discover about what you're really capable of?